Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, you're in the real estate game.
At Franksville Furniture, we believe in supporting our country, and we want to invite you to shop our brands like Jackson, Catnapper, Best Home Furnishings, Medlift, and Union Furniture made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Check out our Justice mattresses and our Kingdom mattresses, also made in Fort Smith, Arkansas. 100% made in the USA, Speed Clean washers and dryers. We have them. Tell us you heard this commercial and receive free delivery. Frank Furniture, best seats in the house. You're making good. I think that's 40.
Came through last week. He's been begging for him for 15 years. It came through last week, and he's tired and complaining.
You're right. I wish I was in better shape and more prepared for it because I am exhausted. I have waited for this my entire life, and man, after 1 week of it, tired.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Scores, highlights, and analysis. This is Arkansas Baseball Tonight.
Swung on up the middle for a base hit, and you can't put this one to bed. The Razorbacks come back and walk on.
Presented by Southern Tire Mart. Come see them today, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith.
Pack your bags, load them up, gas the car, and raise that bright red flag to the skies. 423 miles away, the Emerald City awaits. The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Here's your host, John Neighbors.
And welcome into Arkansas Baseball Tonight on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope everybody has had a wonderful weekend so far, and it might get a little better tonight as the Arkansas Razorbacks, with their victory last night against the TCU Horned Frogs, is going to be playing for the regional championship in Fayetteville here in about an hour and a half, where first pitch will be had. And guess what? They're facing the TCU Horned Frogs once again, as they were able to get their victory over Central Connecticut State earlier this afternoon. So tonight's game will be for all the marbles there in Fayetteville. I am John Neighbors alongside Ty Richardson here across the great state of Arkansas, going to be bringing you right into the IMG pregame broadcast with Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter. And I got to tell you, folks, I went to the game last night because I want to recap a little bit of last night's game before we really jump into tonight's game between these two teams, because let's be honest, nothing's really changing for these two teams except for the pitching, which we'll get right into. But last night's game was something that was really, I'm not going to say it's historically great, but if you're a Razorback baseball fan and you watch that and you watch the performance that Isaiah Campbell turned in, and you watch the performance and some of the clutch hits that you got from some of your players, and you watched and saw, or maybe you were even a part of that atmosphere at Baum Walker Stadium last night, I don't know how it gets much better than that when it comes to postseason play. I know that Arkansas still has a lot of work to do, but that was a game that we talked about in the pregame show yesterday that, man, you feel good about Arkansas, but that left-handed ace, the man, said, of course, his name is Nick. It was, what was it again? Nick. His name was Nick. I know it's a weird name to pronounce. I probably should have brought it up there. So
Lodolo.
I was wanting to say Lapoli, and I knew that was the case. Lodolo, yes. The 6'6" guy who was projected a top 10 pick. He performed fairly well, but Isaiah Campbell performed just a little bit better. You got 8 innings out of Isaiah Campbell. 8 innings. And he only gave up 1 run. And in that final 8th inning, in the first 2 outs of that, he struck out both of those batters with his speed getting still up to the mid-90s. Fantastic performance. It might be, to date, Isaiah Campbell's best performance as a pitcher last night's game. I know that there's a lot of games that he's played in, and he's had a lot of good ones, especially this year, but I'd be hard-pressed to find a better performance from Isaiah Campbell than what you got at him last night.
Well, you can look to the Florida game last year, but if you're looking at specifically this year, the way he was able to get through those 8 innings in the manner, in the form of fashion he did, going against one of the best pitchers in college baseball, it's hard to outmatch what he did last night. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. He was wheeling and dealing all night. I thought it got a little hairy those last few innings, but he was able to just keep persevering, and that's what Phil talked about to me so much, is how much this guy's mentality changes compared from last year to this year. And when he has a runner that's potentially in scoring position or a guy, he competes so much more like Blaine Knight did comparatively to where he was at this point last season.
I mean, it's been phenomenal because you want your ace pitcher to be performing at his peak at this point in time in the season, and that's exactly what you're getting out of Campbell. And Matt Cronin comes in the final inning there for the ninth and closes up shop for Arkansas. They get the victory 3-1. And by the way, just to real clarify, we have some people here on our live stream, which, by the way, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. People are asking TV for the game tonight. Folks, this whole regional is going to be the same way. It's going to be on ESPN3. It's not going to be on SEC Network or ESPN or anything like that. If you want to watch the Razorbacks take on TCU tonight, you're going to have to watch it through the Watch ESPN app or ESPN3.com. So just a friendly reminder there, because we had Kerstad performed well. He had a couple of hits. I mean,